$10 trillion. That's how much money the world loses each year. Do you know why? Because we do not educate young women. Let me repeat that. This is the annual global cost of not investing in women's education, $10 trillion. I'm not making this up. The United Nations has released a new report. It shows that the world is missing out on economic gains because our governments are failing to invest in women and girls. And the $10 trillion are just the tip of the iceberg. Let's look at another example, the global digital divide. In low-income countries, 90% women do not have access to the internet. Globally, 37% do not use the internet. That's 259 million women without access to the internet. There is a glaring digital gender gap, and it will cost us. Do you know how much? $500 billion over the next 5 years. I could go on. There's a lot of data that basically says the same thing. No matter where you look, there is a gender gap. From the clothes we wear to the food we eat, from our health to our financial stability, from our careers to the chores that we do, gender inequality is everywhere. And women are at the losing end of it. So the world is losing money too. And this is irrefutable. If women are empowered, if we close the gender gap, if we invest in women, our economies will advance. The global GDP will increase by 20%. And we already know this. Yet this is what our world looks like. No country has a comprehensive framework to bridge gender inequality. Of the 120 countries where data is available, more than half prevent women from doing the same jobs as men. 2.4 billion women do not have the same economic rights as men. Globally, women make 80% of what a man makes for the same job. They earn less than men. Only 40 countries ban sexual harassment in public, and every week, women spend 21 more hours of unpaid work. In monetary terms, that's 40% of the GDP of some countries. At the current rate, it will take us more than 169 years to close the gender gap. 169 years. How is this okay? We have to invest in women, and we have to do it now. Not just because it is common sense, but also because it makes economic sense. Because here's what will happen next. If we invest in women's education, the global economy will gain $10 trillion. If more women work, that's another boost of $7 trillion. If female farmers get more support, add $1 trillion to that figure. If women stop losing their jobs due to violence, either at home or at work, you can add another $1.5 trillion. If healthcare for women improves, that's another $1 trillion. These are all research-backed numbers. Clearly, investing in women is a good idea. So what is holding us back? Like I said, governments are not putting their money where their mouth is. They're not making the requisite investments. That is one big problem. But research shows that the gains far outweigh the investment. Look at healthcare. Women don't get the same benefits as men. So they're in poor health 25% longer than men. That's the average. Let's say we invest $1 on their healthcare. Do you know the return for the economy on that $1? $3, that's your return, because the woman's quality of life improves, so participation in the workforce also increases. Now look at medical research. For decades, it has focused on men. But if we invest $300 million in research on women, it will yield $13 billion in economic returns. So the returns are far bigger than the investment, and this applies across the board. Moral of the story? The world needs to invest in women. Gender equality is the need of the hour. It should not just be a moral, but also a strategic and economic priority, because empowering women is smart economics.